Good evening. Welcome to our Research Talks, an initiative of Beyond Books Publication.
Okay, a great evening, everyone. I hope that you can hear me. Am I audible? If you can hear me, can you please type one so that I can continue with the introduction?
Sir Jabin, we can hear you.
Okay po. So shall we continue? A great evening, my dear friends, and to all our participants. In behalf of Dr. Catherine Miranda, I am Jabin Pelosion, your facilitator for tonight's research talks on Practical Research 1. And also in behalf of Beyond Books Publication, thank you so much for making yourselves available. I am sure that you will captivate a lot of knowledge correlated to our focus. At this moment, our speaker will discuss collection of data through observations and interviews. But before anything else, let me hand you some of the reminders and or online house rules. Okay, for our first online house rules, do not share your Google Meet code. Moderators or the host or the facilitator will be validating your email and the email of the participants. Use the same email address that you registered with us. If you will use a different email address, inform us immediately. Please mute your microphone during the webinar proper and turn it on during the open forum if you have questions. Be polite. Do not interrupt. If you wish to speak or have any points or motion, raise your hand. The facilitator or host will recognize you and will allow you to speak. Be prepared for technical difficulties. In case of technical difficulties, you can leave the meeting and rejoin the meeting. Also for participants who have friends that are interested to participate and were not able to attend our Zoom today, we are also live both in our Facebook and YouTube live. In our Facebook, we are live in Beyond Books Publication, and also in our YouTube, we are live in Beyond Books Publication TV. Without further ado, please set our courtesy and deference and join us in singing the Makabayan song, followed by a prayer for the supervision of our Divine God. Okay, thank you so much. Now, at this moment, to deliver an opening remark, let us give our program chair a big warm round of virtual applause. Dr. Teresita G. Calapis. Ma'am?
Hello, good evening, Sir Javen. Am I audible?
Yes, Doc. Loud
Ayan,
and
actually,
clear.
I'm the one who will deliver the opening remarks. Okay. By
Noted.
the way, my apology, I cannot open my camera due to poor internet connection. By the way, a pleasant evening to all the Zoom meeting participants, those who are watching in our Facebook and YouTube live, to our dear students, teachers, and research enthusiasts, magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. So on behalf of Beyond Box Publication, we would like to welcome you to another series of practical research talks. We are very thankful because despite of the weather disturbance, you are still here. These research talks would not be possible without the initiative of our very energetic President CEO of Beyond Books Publication, Dr. Leonelio B. Capulso, together with our chairman, Dr. Maria Teresita Calapis, our IT facilitators, Dr. Myra G. Flores and Sir Jaben Lokshon, and the rest of the technical working group. We are very thankful to have Dr. Romel Carl C. Peralta, our resource speaker for tonight. And his topic is collection of data through observations and interviews, together with our facilitator, Sir Jaben P. Lokshan. I am very sure that we will learn a lot this evening. And of course, to our audience, you are the reason why BBP or Beyond Box Publication is doing this kind of project. So to help and assist you to be a researcher in the future. So next, we would like to encourage you also to avail books from our library. We have inquiries, investigations, and immersion, how to write and publish your thesis, how to write and publish your dissertation, how to conduct an action research in education, research methodology, practical research tool, pananaliksik, and a lot more. For those who want their research papers to be published, we have IJAMS or International Journal of Advanced Multidisciplinary Studies. So grab some copies of published books of Beyond Books Publication. Lastly, we are inviting you to our upcoming International Multidisciplinary Research Conference and Global Leaders Educators Award this coming September 2021 in Athens, Greece. We have new categories for nominations. So do not miss this chance to be part of this meaningful event. So for questions, you may contact our CEO President, Dr. Capulso. You may also ask and approach our Beyond Books Publication coordinators or regional coordinators and the technical working group. Follow us also and subscribe in Facebook and YouTube channel Beyond Books Publication. So just relax, sit back, and learn a lot in our discussion tonight. With that, thank you and God bless. Keep safe.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Roy. Indeed, for the love of research, regardless of the bad weather we are experiencing or whether that be personal issues or concerns that we have, for the love of research, we are still here, eager to learn. Okay, so at this moment, may I also ask Dr. Leonelio B. Capulso to give us his welcome remarks.
Permission to share screen, Sir Javen.
Okay po, Doc.
So can you hear me, everyone?
Yes
Hello,
po, Doc.
can you
Loud
hear
and
me?
clear
Can
po.
you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me or simply a sound off? Hello?
Clear po, Doc.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Sir Jaben, for facilitating this research talk, to our session and program chairs for research talks on practical research, Dr. Maritis and Maria Teresa and Dr. Rio, who just had his welcome remarks. As mentioned by Dr. Rio, we are actually having our second International Multidisciplinary Research Conference as one of our advocacy. The ones that we had last April all the presentations, more than 40 research presentation can still be viewed, and you are free to visit in our YouTube channel. Just go to Beyond Books Publication TV and you could see all the presentation during our first International Research Conference, which we also held virtually. For this time, we will have the second International Multidisciplinary Research Conference in September 24 to 26 in Athens, Greece, as mentioned. But again, we will do it virtually. This is in collaboration with our partners from Greece, from Indonesia, from India, from other parts of Europe, and in Turkey, and even in the Middle East. We are also inviting you again to publish your action research, applied research, a thesis or dissertation, your literature review, capstone project, and innovation in our International Multidisciplinary Journal. We call it International Journal of Advanced Multidisciplinary Studies. This is an international peer-reviewed journal with the ISSN shown there in your screen. We will be releasing our June issue towards the latter part of the month or the first part of July. All the papers that will be presented in the second international conference, will also have a special issue if you want to publish your research on that conference. The number of our regional coordinators to all the regions are posted in the screen. So you could just have a screenshot and you can message to them directly para mas mabilis nila kayong masagot sa inyong mga concerns in publishing your research or joining us in our international conference and also in our Global Leaders and Educators Award. So we will be awarding once again leaders, educators, innovators, authors around the world on the same event. We have here the first previous issue of our journal. Okay, you have here the first issue and the second issue. And again, it has an ISSN of 2782893X. Now, you can use this for your professional development and even for your ranking and promotion. We will be issuing, aside from a copy of a printed journal, a certificate of publication with ISSN. Okay. Here are pictures of our awardees during the Global Leaders and Educators Award. So they are from Visayas and Mindanao. We also have from Luzon and the parts of the world. So some of this you can see in our book, which will be part of the package when you join us for our Global Leaders and Educators Award. For this time, for our event in Greece, so as mentioned, it will be in collaboration with Professor Rania Lampu, who is also the Global Teacher Finalist as STEM teacher from Astronomy and Space Company Anix Salamis in Athens, Greece. And for your information, my dear listeners and friends, so far we got already 2 regional advisory for our international conference. One coming from Region 5. And thank you to Dr. Arturo Bayukot of Region 10 and Dr. Gilbert Sadsad of Region 5. And we are expecting more regional advisories to come before our event. With our conference plenary speakers, we have Dr. Chai Ching Tan from England, from Raha Mangala University of Technology of Ratan Nakosin, and we also have Madam Shinette Cunanan Gonzalez, the president of Colorado Global School from the United States of America. With us also is Dr. Supriya Patak from Witty Gossip Incorporated, India, Dr. Andy Asrifan from Universitas Muhammadiyah Serindang, Rapang, Indonesia, with all their topics posted. We have another plenary speaker from Medicaps University, India, Dr. Ravindra Patak. He's actually a doctor and an engineer at the same time. And we have Maina from Universitas Al-Ashariya Mandar from the Faculty of Education. Also, for our friends and colleagues in Mindanao area, we will have also our Bangsamoro International Research Conference in October 23 to 24 in partnership with our Bangsamoro region and the regional coordinator, Professor Junaid Sadang, and our Region 10 coordinator, Sir Armando Agustin. And good news, our awardees for our first 2021 Global Leaders and Educators Award. The initial copy is out, although the rest of the copies are coming soon. Okay, so this contains some of the stories and biodata of our awardees. And we will be shipping this very soon. Okay, and because of that, we are asking now your help to support our advocacy. Remember that our research talks are given for free. Ang ating mga speaker and moderator ay wala silang natatanggap kasi alam naman nila na ginagawa natin tong advokasya natin para makatulong sa mga guro na nagtuturo ng pananaliksik, no? And even our senior high school students and even higher education students. So with that, we ask you to support our merchandise. We have our polo shirt, we have mugs, we have jug, we have this we have jug, we have our jacket. If you can see the jacket I'm wearing now, so ito yon. Okay, this is the kind of jacket that we are trying to sell. We also have laptop bags, laptop sleeve, and a lot more. No, if you are, we are actually asking you to support this merchandise. You can message us directly as to the price and to the mechanism, the payment is. You could also ask the regional coordinators who are nearest to your area. Also, aside from our research conference, aside from our journal and Global Leaders and Educators Award, the main advocacy of Beyond Books publication is to inspire, to discover new authors in different fields, may it be in education, in research, in engineering, because we are actually a multidisciplinary publication when it comes to book publication. You can also be a sole author or a co-author of a particular manuscript for a very affordable price. No, these are some of the books and a lot more which we cannot show you. We have already published, and marami na tayong mga kasamahan sa Beyond Books na na-promote as principal, assistant principal, administrator by university, and making use of the documents that we have shared with them from Beyond Books publication. So kapag gusto nyo mag-publish ng libro, we have different package for teachers, for new authors na kayang-kaya po ninyo para tulong para kayo ay maging ganap na manunulat. It has a certificate of publication from National Library of the Philippines with ISBN. We will be giving you the moment you published with us. And to continue the quality of our group, of our publication, we started already the process of accreditation from National Educators Academy of the Philippines. We are also doing our application with PRC for our CPD accreditation. All this to provide you a relevant and sustainable capacity building through our online and later on face-to-face mechanism. And all this initiative is actually because of all your support, and because of that, your servant in Bian Books publication, we are granted the World Book of Records from London Certificate of Commitment because of our advocacy during COVID-19. For all those free advocacies at iba pang mga ginagawa natin na hindi na natin kailangang sabihin sa inyo, na kung saan yung mga revenues na nakukuha natin ay ginagamit din natin para makatulong tayo sa ating mga maliliit at medyo nangangailangan na mga kababayan. So sa muli, maraming salamat. Sana patuloy kayong matuto sa lalong-lalo na sa magiging sharing ngayong gabi ng ating speaker. At kapag kayo ay may mga katanungan, pwede nyong ipadaan sa ating chat box or pwede kayong mag-message sa ating moderator, si Sir Jayben, who is also our IT head with Dr. Myra Flores, no? So sa lahat ng mga guro, mga estudyante at mga magulang na nakikinig, sana patuloy tayong matuto kahit medyo may pinagdadaanan tayo. Okay, mag-ingat tayong lahat palagi at mabuhay tayong lahat. Back to you, Sir Jayben.
Okay, thank you so much, Doc Doy, the President and CEO of Bian Books Publication. So for those who are interested to publish their books or research articles, feel free to message your provincial, regional, or city coordinators, or you can also message us or the Bian Books Publication directly. Okay, so at this moment, without further ado, let us now go and let me introduce to you our speaker for this research talks on Practical Research 1. To our participants, dear friends, allow me to present our ingenious speaker. Express your keenness to become accustomed of the information which can be great assistance in our studies. Our speaker is a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Physics, cum laude. He took his master's degree in Bicol University Graduate School with a course of Master of Arts in Physics Education. Also, he took his doctoral degree in the same university with a course of Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Foundations. He received various local and national awards. In year 2020, he was awarded by InstaBright publication as Outstanding Teacher in Innovation. In year 2021, Mr. Peralta received Global Teachers Awards in Innovation and Outstanding Teacher in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education, or STEM. For 2 consecutive years, his project proposals were funded by Department of Science and Technology, Science Education Institute, or the DOST-SEI, amounting to 50,000 pesos for Project InnoCubes and another 50,000 pesos for Project PyTrex. So wow. He also won as national champion in the recently concluded DOST-SEI second Innovax search for most innovative learning resource material in science and mathematics. Moreover, he authored and presented researches in different local, national, and international research conferences. And for becoming a pioneer member of Circle of Innovators in the Philippines. Currently, he is working as Master Teacher 2 in Ligao National High School, Ligao City. He is happily married with 1 child, an innovator, educator, and researcher. To discuss us the topic, collection of data through observations and interviews, may I introduce to you our resources speaker, Dr. Romel Carl C. Peralta. A big warm round of virtual applause.
Good evening. So welcome to our Research Talks, an initiative of Beyond Books Publication, Macabebe, Pampanga, Philippines. So today we will discuss about collection of data through observation and interview. So I am Romel Carperalta, Master Teacher 2 of Ligao National High School, Albay. So we can see the research talks through Facebook Live and YouTube live stream. So let's have first a recapitulation about data collection. Data collection is a methodical process of gathering and analyzing specific information to offer solutions to relevant questions and evaluate the results. Usually, we are conducting data collection through to answer the research questions in our study. There are two types of data collection. First is the primary data collection, and second is the secondary data collection. Primary data collection, by definition, is the gathering of raw data collected at the source. It is a process of gathering the original data collected by a researcher for a specific research purpose. It could be further analyzed into two segments, qualitative and quantitative data collection. But today we are more on the discussion of qualitative data collection because our course is practical research 1, which is qualitative research. The secondary data collection, on the other hand, is referred to as the gathering of secondary hand data collected by an individual who is not the original user. It is the process of collecting data that is already existing, be it already published books, journals, or online portals. In terms of this, it is much less expensive and easier to collect. The qualitative data collection does not involve the collection of data. That involves numbers or a need to be deduced through a mathematical calculation. Rather, it is based on the non-quantifiable elements like feelings or emotion. So, ito yung reason kung bakit kailangan nating gumamit ng interview at observation because hindi ito pwedeng, there are variables that cannot be captured using survey questionnaires. There are variables that cannot be captured using experiment. There are variables specifically in qualitative research that can just be captured through the use of interview and observation. Specifically, if your study is phenomenological study or more on ethnography. So, kailangan nating mag-conduct ng observation, kailangan natin mag-interview sa mga respondents para malaman natin at makuha natin yung data na kinakailangan natin para masagutan yung research problem natin. Secondary data collection naman ay napakahalaga naman. Of course, alam natin yan. Kasi kailangan natin ng mga literatures or mga studies na magbaback up doon sa primary data natin. Yung primary data natin, tatandaan natin, ito yung mga data na nakuha gamit ang mga instrument natin. Like interview and observation. Yun ang primary data natin. At para mas maganda, yung data na nakuha natin, dapat back up ito ng mga related studies at literature. So that, ma-compare and contrast natin ano ba yung mga study or sino yung mga researcher nagsabi ng ganito na connected sa present study natin or sino naman yung mga researchers or ano naman yung mga study na nagsasabi ng contradicting or opposite sa data na nakuha natin. So, kailangan natin tong dalawa, the primary and secondary data, para mas mapaganda yung discussion natin pagdating sa chapter 4. Okay, so ito po yung importance ng data collection. First, integrity of the research. A key reason for collecting data, be it through qualitative or quantitative methods, is to ensure that the integrity of research question is indeed maintained. So ito yung kailangan natin. Dapat mataas yung integridad ng collection ng data na nakuha natin. Second is to reduce the likelihood of errors. The correct use of appropriate data collection or methods reduces the likelihood of the errors consistent with the results. So, gamit ang observation at interview, mababawasan yung error. Unlike with using survey questionnaire, usually may mga error siya. Kasi yung survey questionnaires, kapag gumawa tayo ng survey, kadalasan, yung ibang respondents, nagtsatsampa na lang. Or dahil nagmamadali sila. They are not reading the questions appropriately. Unlike with the use of interview and observation, very raw talaga yung data makakuha mo. Kapag hindi mo makuha sa isang tanong yung ini-expect mong sagot or yung sagot na kailangan mo para masagutan yung research question mo, pwede kang gumawa ng follow-up question hanggang sa makuha mo yung mga magagandang sagot na mga gamit mo sa discussion sa chapter 4 mo. So yun ang kagandahan ng interview. Nababawasan yung error. Third, decision making. To minimize the risk of errors in decision making, it is important that accurate data is collected so that the researcher does not make uninformed decisions. So yun, sabi natin kanina, nababawasan ng error kapag gamit natin yung interview at observation. Fourth, save cost and time. Data collection saves the researcher time and funds that would otherwise be misspent without a deeper understanding of the topic or subject matter. Kapag gumagawa tayo ng survey, kapag di natin nakuha yung kailangan nating sagot, usually mag-survey ulit tayo. Uulit at uulit tayo. Pero sa gamit ni observation at sa gamit ni interview naman, kapag di mo nakuha yung sagot na kinakailangan mo, pwede mo siyang ulitin. Pwede mong itanong ulit. So, yun ang kagandahan. No? Nakakaroon tayo ng, kumbaga nakakasave tayo ng money natin, ng resources natin, at of course, yung time element. And lastly, to support a need for a new idea, change, and or innovation. To prove the need for a change in the norm or the introduction of the new information that will be widely accepted, it is important to collect data as evidence to support these claims. So, pag minsan kapag napasarap yung usapan, may mga bagong idea yung lumalabas. Kahit hindi siya part ng research mo, pero na-realize mo importante ito at magagamit mo yung idea yun, pwede mo siyang gamitin pa rin. Like sa paggawa ng recommendation or pwede mong din indagdag sa discussion kung relevant siya. So yun ang kagandahan ng qualitative research. So, we will focus more on the data collection through observation and interview. Observation is the data collection method by which information on a phenomenon is gathered through observation. The nature of observation could be accomplished either as a complete observer, an observer as participant, a participant as an observer, or as a complete participant. This method is the key base of formulating a hypothesis. So, ginagamit din si observation sa umpisa pa lang ng research. Kasi, para makakuha ka ng magandang problem or para maka-formulate ka ng researchable question or problem, dapat magaling kang mag-observe. Dapat alam mo yung problema sa community, sa paligid mo. At the same time, si observation naman, pwede mo din siyang gamitin sa pag-gather ng data. Now, we can use checklist or direct observation in conducting research observation. Checklist is a state of specific criteria allow users to gather information and make judgments about what they should know in relation to the outcomes. They offer systematic ways of collecting data about specific behaviors, knowledge, and skills. Actually, yung checklist, pwede din gamitin siya sa quantitative research. We can use this in an experimental study, in a qualitative research, in a quantitative research. So, pag may checklist ka, alam mo kung ano yung mga criteria or indicator na hanapin mo. Although, pwede ka naman gumawa ng research na mag-take down notes ka lang. Like sa ethnography, you have the notebook, you have the paper, then you will just write down all observations na nakuha mo or nagawa mo by just observing the community, the person, kung gumagawa ka ng case study, or by just observing how the people live in a certain location in the Philippines, for example. Now, direct observation, this is an observational study method of collecting evaluative information. The evaluator watches the subject in his or her usual environment without altering that environment. So, ginagamit din ito kapag gumagawa tayo ng case study, phenomenological study, or ethnography. Actually, sa classroom, kapag nag-observe yung teacher or yung principal or yung master teacher, it is already a direct observation. They are using a certain tool sa atin sa teaching, COT, gumagamit ng COT yung mga observer natin to determine or to know the indicators na hinahanap sa atin, hinahanap sa pagtuturo. So, direct observation yun. And at the same time, pwede din gamitin yung ganong strategy sa pag-conduct ng study. Sa lesson study, if you are familiar with the lesson study, they are using direct observation to evaluate the lesson. Sa lesson study kasi, ini-improve yung lesson. So, maybe we can have a separate discussion for lesson study because lesson study is a very good research method in developing an intervention or a material or even a lesson. Now, so we have tips in research observation. The first, we have identify objectives. Of course, we need to identify first the objective before conducting an observation so that clear sa inyo kung ano yung obserbahan. Hindi lahat ng bagay na nakikita nyo, isusulat nyo. Yung kailangan lang na data para masagutan yung research question. Second, establish recording method. So, there are plenty of methodologies on how to record. You can use video recorder, camcorder, or voice recorder. Of course, note-taking is the most common method, though in some public spaces, you can take photographs, audio recordings, and other methods. Third, develop questions and techniques. Determine whether you are conducting an informal or a formal observation. Knowing your objective, determine if there are specific questions you have or if you are going in completely open-minded. What you hope to learn will help you to know what specifically to look for. Be prepared when entering an observation space by having a sound understanding of the type of information you are trying to learn. So, of course, dapat may mga set of questions pa rin na kailangang i-jot down natin. Ano yung mga tanong na pwedeng masagutan ni observation. Fourth, observe and take notes. Ito, napaka-risky ng pag-take note. Hindi siya madali. Kailangang mabilis ka, kailangang nanonood ka, nag-observe ka habang nagsusulat ka. So, it is a very special skill. At kapag na-master natin, as researcher, napakaganda niya. You can use coding, of course, para mas mapadali yung pagsusulat. Then, lastly, we have analyze behavior and inferences. Separate the difference between what you observe and why you observe happened. Typically, to make some sense of your observed data, you will need to interview people in environments you are observing either during observation itself or afterwards. Make connections between interaction, responses, behaviors, and other phenomena. So, next. Let's talk about interview. Okay, an interview is a face-to-face conversation between two individuals with sole purpose of collecting relevant information to satisfy the research purpose. Interviews are of different types, namely structured, semi-structured, and unstructured, with each having slight variation from the other. Konti lang naman ang pinagkaiba nila. As you can observe, ang definition natin dito is face-to-face. But now, since we are in pandemic, we can do online interview. You can use different platforms. We can use Zoom, Google Meet, or Messenger. We can conduct interview. Now, structured interview, simply put it as verbally administered question. In terms of depth, it is surface level and is usually completed within a short period. For speed and efficiency, it is highly recommendable but it lacks depth. Sa structured interview kasi, yung mga tanong, nakasulat na siya. Itatanong na lang, ibabato na lang sa respondents. Kay semi-structured naman, in this method, there is subsist several key questions which cover the scope of the areas to be explored. It allows a little more leeway for the researcher to explore the subject matter. In semi-structured naman, you have the set of questions, then you can ask follow-up questions na hindi nakasulat doon sa interview guide. While for unstructured interview naman, parang biglaan lang. Biglaan mo lang siya nakita, tinanong mo siya, that is unstructured. Wala kang ginamit na interview guide. So, simultaneous lang siya. Of course, you can use audio recorder in conducting interview. An audio recorder is used for recording sound on a disc, tape, or film. Audio information can meet the needs of a wide range of people as well as alternatives to print data collection tools. On the other hand, we can also use digital camera. An advantage of digital camera is that it can be used for transmitting those images to a monitor screen when the need arises. So maganda. Pero of course, we need to follow certain ethics before using digital camera. Ngayon, cellphone na, di ba? Kahit cellphone pa natin gamitin. And of course, camcorder. A camcorder is used for collecting data through interviews. It provides a combination of both audio recorder and video camera. The data provided is qualitative in nature and that allows the respondents to answer questions asked by the researcher. If you need to collect sensitive information during an interview, a camcorder might not work for you as you would need to maintain your subject privacy kasi sa pag-conduct ng qualitative research, pag minsan may mga subject tayo na sensitive. For example, mga bata or mga victims ng iba-ibang klaseng krimen. So, dapat sensitive tayo doon and we should use appropriate material or tool for them to respond. Kasi kapag alam nilang may video, pag minsan ayaw na magpa-interview. Gusto nila, ikaw lang, researcher, at yung participant. So, dapat sensitive tayo doon. Moreover, unstructured interview is an in-depth interview that allows the researcher to collect a wide range of information with purpose. An advantage of this method is the freedom to gives a researcher to combine structure with flexibility even though it is more time consuming. So yan po ang ating unstructured interview. So we have tips in conducting interview according to MJ and Maya Thomas. First, kapag magko-conduct tayo ng interview, make sure that the research question is clear. Alam mo dapat yung research question. Ito yung kadalasan namamali sa mga researchers natin. Hindi master yung research questions. Hindi master yung statement of the problem. Kaya kapag na-overwhelm ng mga questions o response ng respondents, nawawala, lumalayo. So, dapat very clear yung research question. So that, kung dumating yung moment na lumayo yung mga responses, i-redirect mo siya para masagutan yung research question mo. Tandaan po natin na gumagawa tayo ng interview hindi para makipag-usap, kundi para masagutan yung research question natin. Second, develop a checklist of the questions to be asked during the interview. This is more on structured interview. Of course, kahit pwede ka namang bumato ng mga tanong na wala sa checklist mo. Pero mas maganda kapag may checklist so that you are guided. Napakahirap kapag walang checklist. Hindi mo alam kung paano ka mag-start, paano ka magtatapos. Or, pag minsan, yun nga, lumalayo tayo sa data na kailangan natin makuha para masagutan yung research question natin. Third, as possible, yung tanong natin hindi bias. Dapat neutral lang. Then, you can use open-ended question so that the respondents can choose his or her answer. So, para free lang. Next, limit the content of each question with a single idea to avoid confusion. So, isa-isa lang. Wag sunod-sunod yung tanong, pa isa-isa lang. Next, reduce questions that give responses of yes or no because they give limited information. Tandaan natin, kapag mas madaming sinabi si respondent, mas maganda. So, yun ang kailangan natin. Do not influence the respondent by asking leading question. Yun itong kadalasan namamali ng mga researcher. Parang si researcher mismo nagko-conclude na, ito masama, ito mabuti. Hindi, ganon. Dapat hayaan natin si respondent magkwento. I-guide lang natin siya. Pero, wag natin siyang i-guide doon sa data na papabor sa research natin or yung sa data na gusto mong marinig. Tandaan po, gumagawa tayo ng interview para masagutan si research question. Oo, ililid natin siya para masagutan si research question. Pero wag natin siyang ililid doon sa conclusion or doon sa data or findings na gusto mong mangyari. So yun po. Do not influence the respondents' responses. Next, if you have not understood the response, ask the respondent to repeat and clarify. Okay lang naman po ulitin sila. Okay lang naman magbigay ng additional question to make clarification. Yun. Do not assume answers. So, huwag tayo mag-assume. Ginudge na natin yung tao. Ginudge na natin yung respondent. Ginudge na natin yung sagot niya. Pero may mas malalim palang dahilan kung bakit ganun. Next. Do not pass judgment. Avoid relevant discussion. As much as possible, okay lang naman sigurong okay lang naman na dapat comfortable si respondent. But please, let us avoid irrelevant discussion. Lumalayo na masyado sa ilang time, isipin natin busy din si respondent or may ibang concern din si respondent. Consider din natin yan. Next, when you change the track, inform the respondent that you are doing so. Keep the interview short, maikli lang. And at the end of the interview, summarize the points reported and ask the respondent if the summary is correct. So, i-summarize natin siya, i-synthesize natin siya. So, yun lang naman for data collection through observation and interview. So, napakadali lang naman ng paggamit ng observation, ng interview. Ang tatandaan lang natin ay dapat sensitive tayo. Sensitive tayo sa nararamdaman ng respondents natin. I-guide natin siya. Alam natin yung ethics sa paggawa ng observation and interview. So, thank you very much. These are my references. You can also browse these references for additional information with regards to observation and interview. So, I am now ready for your questions, and you can ask me questions about observation and interview. So, yeah, and once again, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. I guess that's it for the presentation of Dr. Carl Peralta. Thank you so much, Dr. Carl Peralta, for that very timely, comprehensive, and inspiring talk. Indeed, when we are talking about data collection, there should be considerations and ideas that we should take before we conduct our study, especially in qualitative research, such as the integrity of the research, to reduce the likelihood of errors, the decision making, save cost and time, and also to support a need for a new idea, change, or innovation. Also, if I would like to ask our participants for your key takeaways. If you have insights or other information that you would like to share, please free to chat it in our chat box or also in our comment section, both in our Facebook and YouTube channel, so that we can see your comments, the insights, and the ideas that you've got to based on our ingenious speaker. Okay, so we have messages and comments in our chat box from Jesmar. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for this short and comprehensive presentation. Thank you so much po. According to Elijah Tanay, good evening again, sir. Thank you for the comprehensive lecture. I will just ask, is there a desired number of questions to be included in your interview or observation? Is Dr. Romel here to answer the question?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
Doc.
Hello, Sir Jben. Narinig po ba ako?
Yes, Doc, loud and clear po.
Okay, thank you very much po. Good evening po, Elijah. Actually, there is no exact number for number of questions to be asked in interview or observation. As long as you already captured na-captured nyo na yung tamang sagot or data na sasagot doon sa research question, it's enough. But of course, in doing interview, it is very important na magkaroon muna ng light moment or atmosphere between sayo bilang respondent, sayo bilang researcher rather, and sa respondent. Kasi baka dumating yung moment na binigla mo agad tanungin si respondent. Dapat kukumusin mo muna siya. So of course, you will ask some personal questions. Then after that, doon mo na i-atake ano yung mga research question or yung mga questions na nakasulat doon sa interview guide mo. So dadahan-dahanin lang natin si respondent. If tatanong mo na yung primary question mo kay respondent at hindi masyado nasagot ni respondent yung tanong mo, most probably you can ask a follow-up question. So siguro mga 2 to 3 follow-up questions. Then kapag nakuha na yung tamang response, then it's enough. Tama na yun. Oo, kasi baka masyadong lumayo na din yung interview process natin. Thank you very much, Elijah.
Okay, thank you so much as well, Dr. Romel, for that very comprehensive answer. Do we still have questions from our participants, or maybe some key takeaways, some ideas that they have gathered or they have noted from the presentation of our speaker? We still have another question, sir, from Mark Vacunawa. Okay, thank you, Dr. Carperalta. Is it really advisable to use an interview schedule, or best if the interview is conversational?
Actually, in the research, we will be obliged by our panel, our evaluators, to have an interview schedule or a formal set of questions. However, if i-implement na natin yung tanong, hindi natin siya, yung atake natin hindi masyadong academic. Meaning, conversational dapat. Lalo na kung yung mga respondents natin ay mga common tao, yung mga sabihin natin yung mga common people sa paligid natin sa community na hindi masyadong inclined sa academics. Mabuti kung yung respondents natin ay mga teachers or mga professionals. Medyo yung atake natin doon more on academic. But if our respondents are common tao, most probably mas maganda kung conversational. And of course, kung yung study natin is more on phenomenological, it's more on experience. Therefore, the question should be conversational. So yun po. Thank you very much, Mark, for your question.
Thank you so much again, Dr. Carl. If you still in our Zoom meeting, if we have questions, so feel free to unmute so that you can ask directly our speaker, Dr. Carl. Anyone? As of from our Facebook comment, I guess we still have no questions from our Facebook and YouTube, but appreciation from your talk, Dr. Carl. Thank you so much for your comprehensive presentation. That's it. I guess we do not have questions yet. Do we still have questions? If we do not have questions, shall we proceed to the evaluation na? Okay, I guess if we still have questions, feel free to ask in our chat box or in the comment section. We will be entertaining that later on. But as well, we would also like to appreciate our participants. So all from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We have participants from San Matias National High School. We have from Bato National High School. Participants from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Also from Samar National School. I would also like to appreciate the presence of our various participants all around the Philippines. For those participants, school organization that were not called, again, feel free to chat in our chat box your local or your location so that you will be recognized. We have Valencia National High School. Thank you so much for your participation. And okay, can we also, if we still have no more questions, I will be sharing to you our evaluation link. Okay, so if I guess we do not have questions now. Thank you so much again, Dr. Carl. You deserve a virtual round of applause for that very comprehensive and very timely presentation. Thank you so much, Dr. Carl. For our participants, here is our evaluation link. The evaluation link will also be sent in our Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom meeting. At this moment, let me give our certificate of appreciation to the speaker, Dr. Romel Carl C. Peralta. Wait, let me present to you the certificate first. So while we are waiting for our certificate to be presented, let me also ask again our participants so for your ideas or insights that you have gathered from the presentation of our speaker. Feel free to share your ideas, other if you still have questions, feel free to write it in our chat box. Okay, so we already have here our certificate of recognition. Thank you so much, Doc Mai. Certificate of recognition is presented to Dr. Romel Carl C. Peralta for being the resource speaker during the Beyond Books publication Research Talks for Practical Research 1 with the topic Collection of Data Through Observations and Interviews via Zoom, given this 4th day of June 2021, signed by the CEO and President of Beyond Books publication, no other than Dr. Leonilo B. Capulso. Thank you so much again, Dr. Carl Peralta. So at this moment, if we have no more questions, let me present to you our closing remarks. Wait, let me check our chat box. Okay. I would like also to appreciate our participants from Quezon City, Colegio de Santa Teresa de Avila. Thank you so much everyone. Maraming salamat po mula sa Central Bicol State University of Agriculture, Pili Campus. Salamat po mula sa Mindanao State University, Sulu. And to all our participants, again, thank you so much for your presence in attending research talks on practical research. But keep on attending our advocacies and our research talks. Now, at this moment, let me ask again Dr. Rio to give us our closing remarks, our program co-chair.
Good evening, Sir Jayben. I'll be the one to give the closing remarks. Okay.
Okay po. Dr. Maria Teresa Calapis will be the one to give our closing remarks.
Salamat po sa inyong tulong po ngayong araw na ito, Sir Jayben. Napakarami po natin ni-resolve, no? So, my heartfelt thanks to all of you, especially our participants tonight, for the generous support you extended for this weekly activity of Beyond Books publication, research talks on PR or Practical Research 1. And this was made possible because of the effort of our president and CEO, the highly respected Dr. Leonilo B. Capulso, who always teach us, the whole team, PR1 and the rest of the groups, the selfless service that in spite and despite of the challenges we're facing every week as teachers, we need to be here for our advocacy to continue. So thank you, Doc Doy, for that. You're so generous for the team. May your tribe multiply 100-folds. And of course, to our ingenious speaker for tonight, Dr. Romel Peralta. I'm very happy that you make it tonight. Okay, you advise us in advance of the problems in your area, but you make it through a video presentation, and then andito po kayo for the question and answer portion. So pasensya na po na medyo from Monday until last minute, I keep on contacting you po, Doc. Thank you so much for the effort. Thank you so much for your sharing tonight of on the topic, interviews and observation as part of data collection. So, a warm virtual applause po to you, Doc, for this, for your presence tonight. Another person that we should be thankful to tonight, of course, Sir Jayben, na after two person na kinontak namin because of some problems na they have to resolve. Sir Jayben, you've been so kind to accept na kayo na lang po ang maging moderator. Thank you po sa inyo. And the people behind PR1, si Sir Jayben din po and Dr. Myra and Ma'am Maria Yvette Menyano. Maraming salamat po na every time I contacted you regarding our link, our registration, you are always very accommodating, no? So maraming salamat din po sa inyo. And of course, si Dr. Rio Santiago for always kayo po ang laging sumasalo pag nalilate po ako. So maraming salamat po sa inyo, Doc. And again, for everyone in research and practical research 1, thank you so much. And of course, for all the participants here, meron po mga participants na from the very beginning, from week 1 up to now, they're really here to join us. Dr. Basconia from Bicol po. Okay, si Dr. Maria Lourdes Basconia, nakikita ko po lagi yan. I always monitored attendance. So maraming salamat po for always supporting us. And again, in spite and despite of the challenges we are facing tonight, congratulations everyone, because we make our Friday activity a success because of your presence. Again, we have our 2 weeks na lang po, no? 2 speakers for PR1 and yan na po yung ating final week. So I hope everyone will be present again next week and the other Friday pa po. So our advance invitation to all of you na matapos natin yung last 2 weeks for Practical Research 1. I hope the teachers and students will come again and join our session. Maraming salamat po and God bless everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kalapis, for that very inspirational closing remarks. Indeed, when we talk about our research talks, we might be nearing to an end in our Practical Research 1 research talks, but still, this is not the end of the advocacy of Beyond Books publication. Actually, we also have Pananaliksik, research in Filipino, which is also somehow Tuesday to Thursday ata. And also, we are preparing for another research talks, so maybe something called as research talks overload, which will be focusing on the concerns and the topics that is concerns of our participants. And further instruction about those advocacies of Beyond Books publication will be posted in our Beyond Books publication page. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Kalapis. Also, I would like to appreciate, before we end our research talks this evening, special thanks to the following. Also to our participants, to all those who have attended since day one, especially also today, our participants, thank you so much for attending. I would also like to appreciate the presence of our participant from Leyte Normal University. Actually, I am an alumnus of Leyte Normal University. Okay, and also to other participants as well, thank you so much for attending. To the technical working group of Beyond Books Publication, thank you so much. Ms. Leia K. Ladera, Mr. Lijan V. Alfonso, yours truly, and Dr. Maria Teresita Calapis, thank you so much. Also to Dr. Maria Yvette, thank you so much for being part of our technical working group and also being part of the IT group. Dr. Arlene T. Carlos, Attorney Jewel Nanyes, Dr. Myra Flores, Dr. Eugene L. Santiago, Dr. Catherine Miranda, Dr. Cyril Galang, and also to the CEO and President of Beyond Books Publication, no other than Dr. Leonelio B. Capulso. And also, we are increasing and we are growing. So if you are also interested to become part of Beyond Books Publication, feel free to message the regional coordinators of Beyond Books Publication, and also you can message us directly in our Facebook page. Okay, thank you so much. If we have no more concerns before we end our research talks, may I ask everyone if it is okay to please open our camera so that we can have a documentation for tonight's webinar series. If it is okay also that we will be presenting our pictures in the Facebook page of Beyond Books Publication. We will be asking also for your permission. Okay, can we open our camera so that we can have a photo op? Okay, we have 2 pages, so keep smiling. In the count of 3, I want everyone to smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay. For our next page, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thank you so much everyone again for attending our research talks. Also, thank you so much to our speaker, Dr. Carl Peralta, to all the technical working group and person behind Beyond Books Publication, our participants as well. Thank you so much for attending, and see you all again in our next research talks. Again, good evening everyone. This is Jeben Pilosyon, you can leave our Zoom meeting now. Thank you so much.